Wednesday, everybody. Welcome in. It is lovely to see you. First things first, Poison Darth Frog, pat yourself on the back. You were the first viewer to redeem at first the stream, so you get to be first. Golf clap, golf clap, golf clap. And also, Poison Darth Frog, thank you for redeeming Word of the Stream. I feel like you waited politely. But thank you as well for keeping with the theme. So the word of the stream being mooshed watch TV means we still get to keep the moosh part and we get to have our best friend. So welcome in. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Wednesday. I'm just erasing the star part of Star Mooshed from last time. Hello SNK. Hello CJinx. Hello everyone. Have my chuck. It's dangerous to go alone. Collect all the shiny bugs. See, now it's very interesting that you mentioned the shiny bugs, Poison Darth Frog. And I know it's topical because last stream I determined that there actually was someone who likes the shiny bugs. I was just collecting them because they were on the collection screen. I didn't know Agatha existed. But we met Agatha last stream. And this is important because the thing that we're doing this stream is we're gonna try to help Malo. For those of you who do not know, Malo is a toddler, but I'm fairly convinced Malo is
Jinx
actually
just resubscribed for 59 months. Keep on going at Lady Q.
Thank you, CJinx. That is delightful. Thank you so much for that. 59 whole months of resubs. That's enough that I can't actually put a bunch of Lady Q, like I can't put 59 Lady Q wilds in one message. So I'm gonna give you one. Thank you. Thank you. You forgot about the early Halloween stream? So I am fairly convinced that Malo is actually an Eldritch Horror trapped in the form of a toddler. You'll see when he's on screen. He's utterly terrifying, and so we do what he says. We don't question the child. We just do what the child says. And so the child decided to open a shop in Kakariko Village, and now he sells stuff, but apparently he wants to expand, and that is a side quest I have been advised exists, and since it is for Malo, we gotta do it because there's no questioning the guy. Like, you just gotta do what you gotta do to help Malo. So we're gonna take a look at that, and I am given to understand that that side quest is going to involve a fair amount of money. And so the good news is we met Agatha last stream, and we understand what the golden bugs are now, because I think she's gonna give me money for them. Maybe. I might be wrong. Mooshed watched TV. I didn't erase the moosh part. I just added a bunch of other stuff around it. Thank you, Poison Darth Frog. There is your word of the stream. Thanks. This is one of the only stream titles that I was like, I signed off last week and just immediately typed that in because I knew I was going to be trying that this week. And I'm just like, hey, there's one joke that you can make about this name. Malloween. I could have made that joke too, actually. So there's two jokes you could make about the stream, but I only thought of one joke, which is important. These are his posters. They're already terrifying. Anyways, we'll see him in a minute. I think we have to talk to this guy first. Hello? Whoop. Whoop. Okay, well, that's fine. Long, long ago I predicted you would come, my brother. Tell me, did you not see a young Goron in trouble in Castletown? Okay, that's actually a fairly good question. I do remember the young Goron. He is near the south exit of Castletown. He, like, somewhat is standing in my way. I think he sells water. That's a really good question, Poison Darth Frog. Typically, Gorons are made of rocks. And he's clearly got painting done. Or like tattoos of some description. Do you think that maybe I'm seeing him inverted? Like, his, like the center strip going down him seems pretty Goron colored to me. Do you think maybe the rest of him is tattooed? So rather than him being like that brown as the base color with the yellow and red tattoo on top, maybe the yellow bit is the tattoo and all, or is the natural tone, and all of that brown is actually tattoo. Like when you get a sleeve that's just black. That's a thing. It's an aesthetic. So I have seen the young Goron in Trouble in Castletown. Poison Darth Frog, thank you so much for redeeming Kaboom! Otherwise known as Dehydrate. What's your snack, Poison Darth Frog? Because often you redeem that when you have a snack. I still have some of my munchies left, so I'm still munching away on them. I make terrible jokes. This is what we're here for, actually. We all know this. A little pinch of the munchies. I have Doritos and Cheetos in this, but I didn't find Sun Chips or a pretzel, so I'll have to go digging. Okay, look. Sun Chip and pretzel. Hot and sweet chili Lay's. Okay. I wonder how that compares to the sweet chili heat Doritos. Which, if you are a connoisseur of this stream, you might note is my favorite flavor of Doritos, but only when dipped in some type of onion dip. Typically, I go with the brand Hell of a Good dip. But I tend to have to be careful with anything that says it's hot or has heat to it, because sweet chili heat without some kind of onion dip is very tricky for me to consume because it overwhelms me with the spiciness. And so I am very curious if your hot and sweet chili Lay's is like spicy, or if it's manageable for someone like me. Okay. Maybe you need a dip. It is quite spicy. If you don't have a dip, you could always get a glass of milk. I'm given to understand that helps, though I am not particularly a drinker of milk. So this guy is telling me that the Goron in Castletown, he'd love to help him, but the bridge is out. Perhaps his fortunes will turn, for it looks like the Malo Mart is raising money to repair the bridge. This is a fine thing. Perhaps you might consider a contribution to their fundraising. I see. So just remember that this image, this picture, that's how Malo is marketing Malo Mart. That's the marketing. That's the brand. I low-key love Malo Mart because you can barely see him over the counter. I'm gonna have to talk to him, chat. There's just no way around it. Look at this child. Look at this child. You got them all out of curiosity and it seems your palate is boring. So Poison Darth Frog, I have an interesting theory. There is, or at least as of yet, I haven't been told no by anyone that I have told this theory to. However, I just want to point out that I am not a scientist or an analyst or a psychologist in any way, shape, or form, and I don't have the science to back this up. But, given that my neurodivergence lends itself towards sensory processing disorder, which I most definitely have, I am very used to what it feels like when my ears get overwhelmed and what it feels like when my eyes get overwhelmed. These are normal things that we understand. I'm also very used to what it feels like when my touch gets overwhelmed, like when I'm dealing with fabrics that my skin just, yeah. And I only recently started thinking about the connection point for recognizing that if my senses can get overwhelmed and wind up routing their experiences through the pain center of my brain, and if this sensory processing can really like get off the rails, that I wondered if there was a comparable descriptor for taste being overwhelmed. And I think what I wound up concluding is that my palate is incredibly boring and very underwhelming as a result of this. Like, it is actually possible for meals to have too much flavor for me to be interested in continuing to consume them, depending on what state my brain is in. And I don't mean eating them causes me pain, but I do mean eating them causes the same thing as if I put on the wrong kind of fabric and I'm just like, no, brain says no, brain says I don't want this. And so I find it really interesting that this is like an adult experience that I'm learning about, because I didn't grow up with like a lot of unfamiliar tastes. I grew up with very familiar tastes. And now I'm like stretching myself a little bit in some of those areas, and I can only do that sometimes. And then I have to kind of go shuffle back over to my boring little palette over here. Cream and onion, honey butter. I've seen the honey butter. I hadn't seen the cream and onion. Cheese and onion from nowhere in particular. I bet the cheese and onion is from the UK. To each their own when it comes to chip flavors, but I am extremely Canadian, which means I'm used to my chip flavors basically being condiments. So this is Malo. As you can see, Malo is approximately counter height and also terrifying and very judgmental. This is the nicest face he has shown me thus far this entire game, but he's got aspirations to control the control the world. I forgot that. Most tradespeople are a lot more polite than that. This is Malo right here. Hey, Lady QEW, buy something. All right. So I already have a lot of these things, which means I'm not going to. Time is money. If you're done shopping, then quit wasting both. Ooh, wait, hold on, there's more. I did grow up with very British cooking, and it was delicious food as far as I am concerned. However, this does give context to my wonderful Italian neighborly auntie, who was always so astounded whenever she tried to feed me and I just wanted pasta with some cheese on it. No sauce, nothing else, just pasta with a little bit of cheese on it. I was like, this is the most delicious meal I've ever had. And she was like, I don't know what's going on with you, but it's easy, so I'll feed you. You grew up with affordable. Yeah, you know what? That's fair. I don't even think it's a matter of the flavor itself. Though I am quite delighted that I grew up with the palette that I grew up with. It seems to work for my brain really well. But I expect it's a matter of being accustomed to the flavor, like knowing what to expect when you eat something that actually allows you to process it. That being said, as I mentioned, not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. There's no science behind this. This is just the story of my own experience and my curiosities as I think about making connections. Mac and cheese, beans on toast, pasta and tuna. Yep. Nice and affordable right there. I love that you were okay with the cheese and onion. I feel like I would have also been okay with the cheese and onion. I feel like the honey butter from Korea as a chip flavor. This is really interesting because I've had a fair amount of honey butter like sauces where the base is a mix of honey and butter, and then there's like a few other things in them, and then you put it on like meat or stuff. And so I'm familiar with the flavor, and I think if you put it on a chip, I would actually crash out. Like, I would eat it and be like, I don't understand how to process this flavor. I don't get it. And I would struggle to eat a whole bag of chips based on that flavor. I'm very much a like onion, some kind of dairy. Seems good. Stick that on a chip. I like that you modified the pasta and tuna into pasta and cheese. I would have done that too. Pasta and cheese is delicious. Or was it the mac and cheese that you modified into pasta and cheese? Because it could have been either, I realize. And modifying mac and cheese into pasta and cheese is also similarly hilarious to me, because it's basically you going, why do you need macaroni for this? Just get whatever's cheap. And honestly, yes, correct. The pasta shape does not change the taste. I said what I said. Yeah. Okay, so first of all, great movie. So solid. Fantastic. Second of all, I actually do enjoy, I've been to restaurants a couple of times now that are called Korean barbecue. And typically the way that they work is you kind of order a bunch of like little shared plates where the meat and veggies show up raw and you cook them on the table, which is a grill. And there's sauces and other things that you put on them. And both times I've gone, it's been incredibly delicious, but it's very much been a thing where I was like, hey, I need someone who understands this type of cuisine to come with me, because I don't understand the menu at all, and I would really struggle with it. But I did find it very delicious. Craft dinner and hot dog slices! The best! I do actually quite like that. I haven't had Canadian hot dogs in a long time. Hilarious. Okay, anyways, we're ignoring Malo, which makes sense because he terrifies me and he's staring directly into my soul right now. So, he's heard there's a lot of price gouging going on in Castletown. People are pretty upset. I loathe people who take advantage of the poor, unwashed masses. Malo, I'm gonna need you to explain your adjectival use. Please and thank you. Give to my Castletown shop fund so I can finance a shop there. Got it. He's got an expansion request. Okay. Hey, dude. This is interesting because Kakariko Village is the village like right next to Death Mountain where all the Gorons live. And Malo as a kid was raised in the forest with me. Like, Malo was born in the same village as Link in this game. And when I like rescued the children from the like bad stuff going on in that village, I brought them to Kakariko Village to like protect them. And Malo just didn't go home. He didn't go back to his parents. He just opened a shop. And now apparently, despite not being native to Kakariko Village, all of these Gorons have showed up and now they're working for him. So all I'm saying is Malo is definitely an NPC to watch out for. Katie Shells. Oh, you watch Ninja Turtles. It is thematic. I respect that. Yeah. Honestly, I can fully believe that Hyrule Castletown is the victim of unregulated capitalism. Fear not, brother. I love that. For Malo Mart has proposed a townspeople relief plan as an answer to the lamentations of the common man. What is this side quest and why isn't it the main plot? Please enjoy your dinner, Jinx. Thank you for stopping in. Thank you for looking, and thank you for chatting. It was lovely to see you. I hope you have a good time and it's not too hot. Enjoy your dinner. See you later. Phase 1, repair the broken bridge leading from East Castletown to the field in order to improve traffic. Phase 2, buy that Castletown shop and sell products to the town at reduced prices. You heard me right, Bretta. There is a problem, however. The finances for the execution of this glorious plan are lacking. Please offer some financial support. See, I love this, because what this tells me is that Malo has just kept all the profit of everything I've ever given him, and he's certainly not using it for the expansion, so, let's just help further unregulated capitalism. He needs 1,000 rupees to fund bridge repairs. Well, that's what my wallet has in it right now. I can't give you more than that. So let's try to refill our wallet. He has to scream out in pain every phase. Phase 1. Honestly, it's probably a requirement. Okay, so this is why it is important that we've met Agatha. Because I think she might be able to help us with filling our wallet promptly. Normally I've just kind of let my wallet be what it do. But there's some stuff we need to get done right now. Phase 1, scream a whole bunch. Phase 2, refer to phase 1. Phase 3, maybe check on the bridge. Is something happening? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, they're gonna see me. Uh-oh. Chat, they saw me. These ladies are apparently my fans. And they're pretty consistent at chasing me anytime I see that screen of Castletown. Okay. This is Agatha's place. You can tell from the butterflies. Hey, Agatha. So she terrified me last time because last time she told me she, well, she obviously collects bugs, but she told me about the golden bugs that she invited to the ball and how none of them had shown up, and so how I should bring them to her. This is the whole conversation that we had with Agatha, was about how I should bring the golden bugs to her ball because she did issue invitations. And then I tried to leave and she just very quietly whispered, "I know you have bugs," and then let me leave. And that was maybe one of the scariest parts of this game psychologically. Like, utterly terrifying from a human perspective, whereas the actual most terrifying parts of this game are the spiders, so look away if those show up. Not so far. She doesn't collect spiders, because they're not bugs. I have brought a bug for Princess Agatha's ball. I have several, actually. I am only missing 3. But let's start from the beginning. Of course I did.
You actually went bug hunting for me, didn't you? To be honest, I doubted you would. I guess some might consider me a poor-mannered princess. From now on, if you bring me insects, I'll share my happiness with you. You can keep it in this.
I now have a big wallet. Okay, so this is where we understand that her happiness is money?
I wonder if there's a partner for little ants somewhere close by. If any bug becomes part of a pair, I think I'll be able to share great happiness with you.
Okay. Yes, I have brought a bug for Princess Agatha's ball.
Oh, it's got the butterfly stamp on it, May.
Oh, now I really want to turn them all in. Honestly, I can make that same sound, Agatha, because that stamp is real cute. I am only missing 3 bugs. And the thing is, I should be able to find the snail, because I found 1 snail. I just have to find the other snail to match it, but I don't remember where I found the snail. So I'll have to look that up. And I might be able to find the last 2 bugs. Not 100% sure. I haven't really been following that part of things very well. Because we just did like several weeks of stamp collecting. It was a lot.
I might mistake you for a grain and put you on my cereal. Uh-huh.
They do look happy. 100 bucks.
22 bucks left until I have them all. I hope you'll keep bringing them. You will, right?
You can find a snail, sure, but can you catch it? See, this makes me think of the internet meme of like, you get $20 million, but there then exists a snail in this world that if it touches you, you will die. The snail is always aware of where you are and will constantly move in the shortest distance to your location. Do you take the money? And like, that's a whole thing. Okay, so we'll give her some more bugs. I'll probably give her 5 pairs of bugs right now, honestly.
Little mantis, if I had sickles like that, I could slice onions better.
Okay, now I have to bring up the other meme that I saw. Chad, I'm so sorry about this. But it was on a t-shirt and I low-key loved it. Take the money and move to another continent? Yes. That is absolutely an option, Poisoned Earth Frog. There are some elaborate plans of what people would do to ensure that this would just like be fine and they'd be fine and everything would be fine. Anyway, the t-shirt that I saw had a praying mantis depicted on it and it said girl dinner. And I gotta admit I laughed pretty hard. If I had sickles like a praying mantis. Ooh. So I get 50 for 1 bug. Do I get 50 for the other bug or do I get 100 for the other bug, therefore 150 total? Nice. You get 150 per pair. I mean, the first pair, obviously, you only got the 100 because you got the wallet instead of the 50.
Yes, Agatha, I brought you some flutterbys.
Oops. I forgot to read her message. Thankfully, it will be the same the second time.
You're a little butterfly. Little butterfly, little butterfly. I want to be wrapped up in that powder too.
What powder? Why are all of her lines, like, slightly creepier than they need to be? I mean, I guess it is on brand for this game. Just be needlessly terrifying. We'll let her have the phasmid.
Little phasmid, I want to tie your long antennae into bows.
That's torture. Not very good for that animal. You know what? They probably would do that, Poisoned Earth Frog. Always good to have some spice just to make sure your sinuses are doing all right. All right. Now, Maybe I would have to leave and come back. I'm suspicious that the golden bugs appear on the tree in the middle of the room. But not yet. So we'll just go. At least she let us leave without terrifying us. Mexico! Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Thank you very much, Mexico, for redeeming Let's Go to the Lobby, aka Eat Everything. I do love the platypusicorn emote. That is still delightful. So aka Eat Everything is basically the short form for several redemptions that I have in this stream that just cause me to eat stuff. So I have a hydrate redemption for 69 channel points. Nice. I have a dehydrate redemption where I eat something salty to balance out the hydrate. And then I have two types of candy typically, well, right now, seasonal candy and non-seasonal candy. And so I will eat a candy that has something to do with the season and a candy that has nothing whatsoever to do with the season. Yeah, boy! Guess who has two thumbs and is escorting a Zora kid in a horse cart? Link. Probably you. So for my dehydrate, I do still have some munchies left. So let's dig in. You named him Lonk. Oh, that's so good. So Lonk. Yeah. Valid. Valid. Got myself a little pinch of munchies. Hello, Cheeto. And then we get the long-winded explanation again, chat. Because it is May. And there are limits to holidays in May. But there's one very particular regional holiday that I quite like. You named the horse Ipu. That's too funny. The day has certainly been kind to me. I managed to do a lot of things that were just, you know, there's a lot that's just going really well for me right now. And so, cha-ching, and I hope the day was also going well for chat. So for my seasonal candy, the season that I have chosen for the month of May is a very Canadian holiday, incredibly colonialist. It's called Victoria Day. Beginning with Queen Victoria, Canada being a constitutional monarchy, and so the head of state of England is also our head of state. So beginning with Queen Victoria, we basically picked a day to make a federal holiday, and on that day, we celebrate the birthday of the reigning monarch of our constitutional monarchy. And so it is not their birthday. As far as I know, it has never been the birthday of any reigning monarch, but we basically pick a day to say, hey, this is when we'll celebrate that. And so it's a federal holiday called Victoria Day, and it's happening next week. And so I think it's typically the third Monday in May that it happens, regardless, again, of when the monarch was actually born. And so technically on Monday we're celebrating King Charles's birthday as our current head of state on Victoria Day. And so the way I am choosing to represent that in candy form is I have myself some Jelly Babies, which are a British candy, brand Maynard. And so I thought that that was amusing. Not the most Canadian day of the year, which is July 1st, which is Canada Day. But it gave me an excuse to enjoy some UK candy. And then I have a number of different options for non-seasonal candy because, of course, it's incredibly easy to find a candy that has absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with the season. So I have a Starburst this time. Whoop. And I almost threw it on the floor. And then I did throw it on the floor. So I'm going to pick up a second Starburst rather than try to find it again. Second Starburst. We'll attempt. You take a shot of maple syrup to celebrate in your own way. Have you ever heard of the movie Super Troopers, Mexico? Because there is a hilarious scene right near the beginning. It's about Canadian, well, troopers, but one of the things that they do right at the beginning is one of them like just chugs an entire bottle of maple syrup in a diner. Spectacular. A shot of maple syrup is a delightful way to celebrate Canada Day. And I will join you in that this year because I have some really tasty maple syrup in my fridge. Okay. So, I need to go back to Kakariko Village. Because I need to fill the rest of the bridge repair fund. Yeah, the first 10 minutes had the maple syrup and the shenanigans and the meow. There's some absolutely iconic jokes. Maple cookies. That sounds yummy. I wonder if Malo would be afraid of me if I went into Malo Mart as a wolf. If only I could open doors. Oh. Interesting. I accidentally waited too long and it's nighttime. And I need it to be daytime. And so that's a little annoying. Where do the seasons turn? One assumes Hyrule Field. Lovely. Canada grade A syrup for it. Heck yeah. You get some quality maple syrup for your Canada Day. That's very important. I'm gonna go here. Just wait and see if anything notices me before sunrise. I almost forgot my hydrate for 69 channel points. Cheers, Mexico. Somehow maple cookies are the only sweet you can have way too much of without getting sick from it. That's fair. Cookies are a little bit easier because they actually have something to them instead of just being pure spun sugar. Grade A. Very funny. I was watching a silly little Let's Play style video for a board game yesterday. Oh, one moment, please. I will take this money, actually. Thank you. And one of the things that one of the players had to do was attempt to describe a beaver using no consonants. Like, they had to try to get their partner to say the word beaver, but none of the things that they said or did to try to indicate a beaver to their partner was allowed to use a consonant. And so they basically had only vowel sounds. And the first thing that I thought of was start with like, eh? In the most Canadian way I could to get them into the right country. Because technically, A is a vowel. What was the trick? They had to say it without giggling. I wonder if I would have been able to get a partner to guess that and then to like start singing the ABCs but basically stop after A to try to get them to say B so that they were like Canadian the letter B. And then I don't know what else I would have done. Maybe if I could have made them sing the whole alphabet to get to Z, when they sing it, I could have gone, ooh, immediately afterwards to make them think of a zoo. And then we have Canadian, letter B, and a zoo. And I feel like that's enough to get you to a beaver. And I mean, frankly, this game is not supposed to be easy. So, if it doesn't make you think of a beaver, it will probably make you laugh. I just need the sun to come up, chat. Why does it take so long? There's so many enemies, but I'm bored waiting for the sun to rise. Should I look up where the snails are? I'm gonna look up where the snails are. Now I know my A. Yes, I do. Okay. Do I have the mantises? Let me check my books. So I have ant, mantis, butterfly, phasmid. Ant, mantis, butterfly, phasmid. Grasshopper, ladybug, stag beetle. Why are these alphabetical? I have beetles. So I have beetles. I have pillbugs. I have ants. I have grasshoppers. I have phasmids. I have mantises. Dragonfly, butterfly. I have dragonfly, I have butterfly. Stag beetle, ladybug. Stag beetle, ladybug. Dayfly and snail. Okay. Okay, dayfly I do not have. I have not been to the area where they live yet. And we are not getting the snail. We will get the snail later. Okay. I can't get any of the 3 bugs that I am missing yet, as far as I can tell. So I picked up the snail the last time. Can I dance like a snail to attract it? That would be funny. No. I do just have to go find it and then whack it with some wind, the same as everything else. But snails, chat, are found in the Sacred Grove, which is where we went to get the Master Sword. And apparently I accidentally spoiled a twist in the game for myself because we found one snail, but the other snail, there's a door that we're going to have to go through, and that door is going to do something. And the other snail is found on the other side of the door. So like same physical location, area-wise, but there's a twist we haven't got to yet. So that's fine. We'll get the other snail later. And the dayflies are found in the desert region, and I haven't been to the desert yet. So that's fine. I'm gonna sneak up on it. I mean, why is it still nighttime? I don't like the look of that moon. Is that a moon that's actually, like, going down? a heart. How nice. Haha! The sky is lightning. See, chat? All it took was some light enemy distraction to get us through the night. Clearly. Just a little bit of murder. In game only, of course. Come on, give me the sound cue. Give me the sound cue. I need it to be daytime. You was a good boy, you ate your snack. Now you want dessert. I'm sorry that I talked about cookies with you, Poison Darth Frog. Especially if you don't have any. What a shame. I feel like I did get dessert after my snack, because I had a seasonal candy after I had a kaboom. Okay. So Malo, I'm gonna need you to take my money again. I love that I'm just straight up financing this guy's dreams. Ooh, an Easter bunny. Glorious day! We have connected enough funds to finance repairs to the bridge connecting East Castletown to Hyrule Field. Whoop! See, we saw it for just a split second. When Malo's eyes are like normal, he looks terrifying. But then every once in a while he does this where he widens his eyes to try to look adorable, to lull you into a false sense of security, and that's what he's doing right now. Those corrupt price gouging shops are officially on notice. Soon they will rue. So I think I'm now supposed to go look at the bridge. Okay, head over to the east gate of Castletown. Do we think that's closer to the upper exit? Oh, that's cool. Direct route to the hot spring if we want it. How are my bombs actually? Oh my gosh, I only have 8 bombs. I only have 60 money. I don't think I know that song. Hello, Settled on Beavis. Lovely to see you. What song is that? Ugh. Should've. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let's be a wolf for a little bit. One in blue, one in pink. And so you saw her, you gave her their litter. Oh, that's funny. That's amusing. Okay. Ah. Take it to the bridge. Okay, yep, got it. Alright, Moosh. We are gonna try going this way. And we're gonna try to not lose our ever-loving minds. Wait, which way is the exit? Oh, I see. Nope, I don't see. Wait, is it just this way? Okay, that did not look like the bit that I was supposed to be able to run on. But that's okay. So the point being... Yep. These guys. I hate these guys so much, chat. far too many enemies right now. Ooh. 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 Hello? Would you mind? Please and thank you. Alright. Come here, you flying birds. That's nice. The boars are still there, and the archers are still there. Fascinating. So we got ourselves a bridge, which is nice. I do not feel like doing a thing. Now the bridge is fixed, but my body feels terrible. I just cannot go look for stuff to sell. You know, all I really need is to shower myself with some piping hot spring water to get back to feeling normal. Okay, I'm apparently going to have to get him some spring water. So, hold up, because... Nope. That is not the angle. I just feel like there's gotta be an angle to let me deal with these guys before I actually have to deal with these guys. Nice. Nice. This one's tricky because I have to be... Nice. Alright. Delightful. That probably won't help. But... let's go back the way we came. Thank you. It wasn't that I wouldn't have hit that guy, it was just that, the way that the items operate? Ouch. Okay. Okay, Epona. I'm just... you can stay here, babes. You can stay here, Moosh. How does that sound? You might not be here next week, or you might be lurking. Alice is coming for a visit. Well, that is a spectacular reason to not immediately be around and stream, and so that is completely fine, Poison Death Frog. I hope you have a wonderful time visiting with your eldest. I am very grateful because it's not soon, but my eldest is coming for a visit in July. And I'm looking forward to that. Uh-oh.
What might one go?
Dude, I do not agree that a wolf is a monster, but you do you. That's really interesting that he noticed me coming in the entrance, but when I ran across town as a wolf, he didn't notice. Maybe I switched to a wolf outside. Oh. Did everybody disappear because he shouted? Oh gosh. That's expensive. Hey, I fixed the bridge. Does that mean you're gonna help? Yes, I did make a donation. Hot spring water. Douse him to revitalize him. Well, I'm willing to try. Chat, this is going to be annoying because I have to walk a heavy barrel of hot spring water across the field to toss at that Goron on the other side of the bridge. And the dudes with the flaming arrows and the boars are going to still spawn, apparently. So... And we have a time limit. Isn't this great? This is the most fun. The most fun. Absolutely iconic levels of fun. There's so many dudes wanting to shoot me. And I'm just gonna run. I don't want to get too involved in anything is the thing. Maybe the boars are not going to spawn, maybe it's just the archers. I'm okay if they shoot me. I wouldn't really like it if they shoot the spring water. I'm going the right way, right? What are you doing that for? You're funny. Okay, well, no one's shot me yet. I'm not dead yet. Better not miss him. Will it let me target him? That is some hot spring water that I have here. There you go, dude. Oh, he's so happy. Chat, we made him so happy. I feel rejuvenated. Nope, that is not the side I was standing on. We have some editing continuity issues. Whoop. Bye, friend. I am still in cutscene mode, chat. Dude, how does he even do that? Dude, how does he even do that? It would be really funny if he broke the bridge, but I think that was pretty funny all on its own. He had the hot spring water and it was just like it was not impacted whatsoever by the physics of him rolling underneath it. And like, I have so many questions. I need a scientist. Where is Bill Nye? Celadon Beavis, congratulations on the 7-stream streak. There we go. We can get 7 of those guys running around. Well, I got a piece of heart. Okay, I don't know where to go to continue the quest. Do I have to go back to Malo or do I have to go in to check? Because that guy just brought stuff. Because this isn't Castletown now. This is a very big cave for being an entrance to a city, and it's a little bit daunting to me. Oh, hey, look at that. I am on fire. You suck. Thank you. There's a bone. I can pick up the bone. Oh my gosh, I so badly want to pick up the bone and give it to a dog, but I don't understand the ramifications of doing that. I've never seen a bone there before when I entered. Oh. I can pick up the dog. What if I bring the dog towards the bone? Look at him, he looks so needy. Hey baby, here you go. There you go. Oh, I love how he danced. Oh, I love that he's following me. Oh, I love the animals in this game so much. My heart breaks. Maybe the bone is for me because I can pick it up. Maybe the bone is for when I'm a wolf. Hold on, hold on. Hey, babies. Hey, babies. Oh, hello, babies. Oh, my preciouses. Oh, my absolute most preciouses. Okay, chat. We need to, cause I'm a good boy. Oh, chat. We're just gonna I need to make sure I give love. Okay. I have to pick up the little kitty who's brown. Ugh. And then I need to pick up the other. Here we go. Everybody got a turn. That's very important that everybody get a turn. Oh, now the cat's following me. I love him so much. Okay. Oh, hey. Hello? Thank you, Poison Death Frog, for redeeming non-free hug. That is precisely what I was engaging in with all of those delightful little pets. But let's get ourselves set up. We need to make sure we get a good hug. Pat on the back and everything for you. Chat does need a turn. Everybody needs a snuggle. There you go. Yeah, sure. Oop. I need an empty bottle. How do I know what's in these bottles? One of these is lantern oil, and I don't know which one. Okay, hold on. I can refill that. That's great. I have an empty bottle. I don't even remember what I had on here. Let's do that. Except let's actually do that. Okay, great. I'm butting in the line and getting a special price on this. Drink it while it's hot. Okay, now I think... Is this the correct way? It is. Oh, good. Okay. At least I think it's the correct way. There's a Goron here who had mentioned spring water. I'm gonna try talking to him first. Yes. I didn't want to just like try using it in case I used it, which is not what I wanted. I wanted Goron power. Go! Perfect. So that's a good thing. Because that will get me access to the south field as well. So I'll have 3 exits from Castletown. I just realized we've been playing the game up to this point with only 1 way in or out of Castletown. And now we have 3. Or we will have 3. That seems pretty important to me. Okay. Okay, and so now we have to pay to move Malo Mart, but I only have 42 money. Wait, hold on. How do I get there? Okay. One second. The good news is I'm near Agatha. Okay, so I can't get over this way. Unless I can? There are claw shot targets up here. I don't actually know if that helped. And it's nice to have these pots. But it's not like I can fly. Alternate stream name idea, but also a bad idea. Don't spit on my leg and tell me it's Hogwarts spring water. Oops. I leapt. Okay, can I claw shot the chest? Like, what are my options here? How do I get this guy? I cannot claw shot the chest. Huh. Well. I don't know what you want me to do. But I am probably going to trade in a couple more buggy bugs. Assuming Agatha will let me in, it is nighttime after all. Oops, we're not Agatha. I wonder when her ball is. Oh, there's so many. Some are on the tree and some are in the air. Oh, that's beautiful. You know what? This is a pretty cool party. I'm gonna continue giving you some bugs then.
Have you brought a bug for Princess Agatha's ball?
Of course I have. Should we investigate the guy creeping through our window? Great point. I have not actually spoken to him yet because he seemed like he was reading something, but I realize you're right. I should check to make sure she's okay.
Butterflies!
The Zord child arrives safe, and now you have a blue fit with flippers. Heck yeah. Good for you. Goodness me, those Zora children.
Aren't you a little cutie, little stag beetle? Your spiky pincers are so sharp. They must feel so good.
Chat, why is all her dialogue just a little creepier than it needs to be? Womp is dreading another water tower. Yeah. The water temples I do tend to find fun, but they are also complex. They're hard to do quickly. Is she Malo's mom? I really hope she isn't anybody's mom. But if she's an Eldritch Horror inhabiting a young woman, perhaps she is Malo's mom from the Eldritch Horror perspective. I could see it. They both terrify me. Just a little bit. Just enough. No wonder she's helping finance his move, since it's basically her money that I'm giving directly to him. Oh. Do I want to trade in another set of bugs, or do I want to try to find a little bit of money? Ooh! The praying mantis just climbing up the frame. Huh, that's fun. Honestly, the details are kind of delightful. The fact that they just live here. mom as a substitute for whatever parental relationships Eldritch Horrors might have. You're right, the gender neutral parental unit. So I do think that there is definitely a potential, if we're including the subtext subplot of the Eldritch Horrors within this game, that Princess Agatha certainly is the habitation of the Eldritch Horror parental unit for Malo's parent. Could be Big Sister. From an Eldritch Horror perspective, again, yes. Practically within the game, Malo has an older brother. Which is very interesting, because his older brother is relatively normal. Which version of Kargarok is more like a bird? The ones in the game you're playing are Wind Wakers? I mean, that's an interesting question to answer. I mean, I think it's a fairly defensible position to say, well, first of all, having never thought about this, but I think it's a fairly defensible position to say possibly the ones in this game, since they tend to be, most of the monster design in this game has tended to be more hyper realistic, not always in a good way, as we know. And so they certainly move like actual birds, kind of. There's a bit of a mix of pterodactyl in there. A little hard to say. But what I will say... Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Butterfly. Land on me again? I missed that. I missed that I'd done that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. The ones in Wind Waker have literal duck face. So the Kargaroks, I think, were the flying birds that, if you remember, like the Star Islands and the places where you had to be a seagull to fly to hit some switches, the Kargaroks were the bird enemies that would dive bomb you. And the Kargaroks in this game are the, like, pseudo-pterodactyl ones in Hyrule Field that, again, keep dive bombing me whenever I'm just trying to hide behind a tree and wait for dawn. Anyways, we're gonna go. And so I think it's about which one of those designs is more like a bird. There's a lot of color on Wind Waker's design, but I think the movement of the birds in this game is probably fairly accurate. Yeah, they're monsters. They're not a race. They're not like, oh, which of the Zoras is more like a fish? Princess Ruto and Ocarina of Time? Okay, dude, what are you doing? Okay, my entire concept of this interaction has just been rewritten because I thought this was like a townsperson who is a classic townsperson and so fairly middle-aged, definitely like looking in this window instead of doing his job. But based on the pauses and the stuttering here, I think what we have here is a neighborhood boy who is the same age as Princess Agatha who has a little bit of a crush on her. You still shouldn't be creeping in her window. Excuse you. Oh, not talk to? Just hit him? What business do you have with Princess Agatha? You don't look like you'd have the same interests. You listening? I'm only gonna say this once. If you don't like bugs, you're better off not hassling her. Okay, dude. I have no problem with bugs. I think you might just be projecting. Just go ask her out. The worst she can do is say no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, they noticed me. Wait, hold on. There's a dog. And the dog has a bone. Oh, look at how happy the dog is. Oh, you're such a cute dog. Okay, okay. You're the bestest boy. Okay, be over there. Would you... Oh my gosh. I can't figure out how to give it to him. But he got so much more excited when I was holding the bone. That's too Okay. I don't even remember what I'm doing. I have to go back to Malo. Based on how she admired that stag beetle, she can probably do worse things than just say no. Yeah, that's true. She does in fact love both the praying mantis and the pincers on the stag beetle. Very delightful. I've gone the wrong way. Actually. I have a litter of kids following me. Ugh. I already had a litter of kids way back in like Farron Woods when I was first starting the game. All of the kids would follow me around all the time. That was literally the beginning of the game. It was how much the kids liked Link. Okay, I need it to be daytime. Is she trying to create the ultimate bug life form? Is she secretly a mad scientist? I don't know who you're waving at, but you seem weird. Honestly, I could believe it. She reminds me a little bit of Dean Amy, which is a villain from Kim Possible. I'm referencing a property that has nothing to do with this, so I hope y'all have heard of that. And Dean Amy was obsessed with cuddle buddies. And so she started building her own by using a machine that would splice different animal DNA together. So she crossed like a hippo and a bunny to make like a massive hippo bunny. Anyway, fascinating villain. And she 100% would do that. Like, that would absolutely be her plotline if Princess Agatha was her. Is Princess Agatha the Doofenshmirtz of Hyrule? See, that's a more applicable reference than Kim Possible, because Phineas and Ferb, I think, might still be getting new episodes. So, like, come on. Behold, the decapitatorinator. The double-inator is really funny. Oh, no. These dolts. This is the wrong field to cross. Hello? Please. Okay. Can I do something about these guys? Not from that angle, I can't. Nope. Still not from that angle, I can't. Well, they're shooting me from here, so you'd think... Ha. Nope. Even the hole in the fence is blocked. Not still again. Okay, that's good to know. They're quite funny. I enjoy them. You know what? We're gonna go back to Kakariko a different way. Oop. Uh-oh. It's almost daytime. Should have brought my horse. Actually. Good boy. The show ended and they came back technically as the next summer vacation. They also have a couple of movies, which I remember. Honestly, it's a fairly cute show. See, that is a Kargarak. That bird. That's a good question. It doesn't seem like the type of show, like, it seems like the type of show to make real life references, but not, like, real life events. Okay. There needs to be a human or everyone's gonna run away. Okay, let's use the spring water to get some of my life back. Phineas and Ferb could have. Like, that is... So, it's not about what's realistic, right? But it is about the premise of the show, and that is accurate to the premise of the show. Like, it doesn't matter that it's technically impossible. The whole point of Phineas and Ferb is that they just do impossible things, and then the universe undoes it, and no one ever tells them wrong. You know? Like, the key point is, of course, they can accomplish whatever this impossible task is. Oh, I don't think I have enough money for this. Hold on. What's my wallet? Nope. I'm $8 short. Chat, I need to find some money. That means I need to fight some things. I would have liked to hear that song. Hi, Moosh. Nice to see you again, baby. Okay, we're literally just gonna go. We have to find some enemies, and then we have to fight those enemies. And we have to do it while not... No? Dude. I don't know what your problem is. I am doing very small adjustments, and you are really just attacking this. Okay. So those are some fun murder targets. Sorry, I mean basic enemies. Ooh. Wait your turn. $1 so far. Please explode into $5. Thank you. Would you also please explode into $5? Please and thank you. No? No money? Okay. So they don't do it just because you ask politely. We've learned. They don't give you money just for politely inquiring if they wouldn't mind. Nice. Okay. I feel like ideally I'd have another $50 or so because I think probably Malo is gonna try to sell me stuff, but I might just have to wait. So let's try moving the shop first. On the subject of creepy boyfriends, okay. You recently had such a bad experience with a game that you uninstalled it, then immediately had an update that added pets. You know what? So obviously I don't know what game and I don't know what the experience was, but just based on the premise of on the subject of creepy boyfriends, can I just say, adding pets, not a good enough compensation. You broke up with it and immediately it showed up at your door with a puppy, like, please take me back. That's so good. I got you a puppy. Dude, don't do that. That's not gonna fix this relationship, man. Adding pets is not gonna help. Stop it, you just look desperate now. I mean, that being said, Poison Death Frog, think about what experience I'm having with this game right now and how much of it I forgive because I can pet the dog. And see, now I'm feeling like I'm just giving in to this game. It gave me the creeptacular enemies that give me nightmares. And then it was like, no, but don't worry. Look, there's a cat and you can pick it up. And I fell for it. and I fall for it every time I go into Castletown. Today marks the day that another legendary establishment... See, he's not even counter height and he's standing on a box. Do you see this? This child is 2 years old, max. And it's definitely an Eldritch Horror in the body of this 2-year-old. Like, that's how tall he is with the box. Terrifying. Okay, so I have to go back to Castletown now, because that's how the story continues. But I think this means we now have Malo Mart in Castletown, which means the next time we have a little bit of money, we can go and check to see what they have. I don't think I can warp from here because people can see me. If he and Agatha meet, will they merge into a single adult? Have I mentioned recently that I just love the way that you think when it comes to lore and stories? Poison Darth Frog. Spectacular. I'm pretty sure they'll either merge into a single adult or into a ginormous black hole that will just swallow the entire Earth. Twilight Princess is a direct sequel to Majora's Mask? Maybe Agatha and Malo are what happened when you split the moon. And you have to... Okay, so the classic, like, fantasy villain thing of break it into pieces and each piece goes into a different being. Like, basically the Triforce. Except we've taken the villain of Majora's Mask and broken it up into pieces, and it's now inhabiting some of the NPCs in Twilight Princess, specifically so far Agatha and Malo, and we will perhaps meet more later. And so we have to ensure that they never meet, otherwise it will resurrect whatever was behind the Mask of Majora and or like whatever possessed the moon in that game. Like, I feel as though we dealt with the mask itself, and so I genuinely want to just create this story where the moon was possessed, and then part of having to deal with the fallout of what Majora's Mask caused Skull Kid to do is that Link had to like unpossess the moon, break it into pieces, and embed it into the souls of some very innocent individuals, and that's what we have now. But it's just 2 people. It's the Die Force. Poison Darth Frog, we are not done the game. We might meet more creepy NPCs. Anyways, so that lore sounds fantastic to my brain, which means I'm going to have a hard time letting that go. I understand it's not officially part of the lore of the game. I just think it's a fun story. Okay. So, those are, I believe, all of the side quests that relate to collection that I can accomplish at this point in the game. Technically, there's a bunch of side questing that I could do about money. But money is not that interesting to me right now. Though I don't have a lot in my wallet, I admit that. I have 3 money. I have 3 children and no money. I wish I had 3 money and no children. Well, I have 3 money and no children. Sorry, Simpsons reference. So I think that I'm at the point... so we just did a lot of side questing, chat, because we got the Master Sword, and the Master Sword is something that you get when you are a wolf, because the King of Twilight embedded a shard of shadow in your head, and so you needed the Master Sword to counteract that and remove that shadow shard from your being. Maybe the shadow shards are the pieces of the creature from the moon. Sorry, we had one, but now we possess it instead. Okay, okay. I'm building a whole fanfic about this now. And so since we got the Master Sword and it repels evil, we were able to remove the Shadow Shard from our being, which turned us back into a real boy, but we still possess the Shadow Shard. Midna is keeping it for us because it can't exist in the same space as the Master Sword. And so whenever we ask it of her, she can turn us back into a wolf, so we can switch back and forth. So that's the game lore. But practically, the gameplay mechanic is that it means I can be a wolf whenever I want. Oh, I love this. The postman who always calls me Mr. Lady. Mr. Lady QW, wait! Okay, kindly note, we learned this last time because we were a wolf the last time the postman found us, and the postman ran directly up to us, and Midna turned us back into a human for the cutscene. And Midna is very careful to tell us that we cannot transform anywhere a human can see us, and so we have determined that the postman also is not human, which means we have found our third Eldritch possessed NPC. Agatha, Malo, and the postman so far. And possibly also the shadow shard that I'm holding. So we were something for a little while. Anyway, postman is also an eldritch being now, according to my fanfic lore of this game. Point being, what was the point again? I got so sidetracked from my point. I was explaining what we were doing in the game. Okay. So because we had the ability to turn back and forth between a boy and a wolf at will, it allowed us, like, it opened up a lot of the optional parts of the game to us, because suddenly we could go anywhere and we could interact with a lot more things than we had previously been able to interact with. And so that means we had a lot of side questing. We collected a bunch of bugs, we collected a bunch of stamps, we collected a bunch of heart pieces, we just collected a bunch of everything. But now we are done the current amount of side questing. It felt like a lot because a lot opened up when you got the skill of just turn back and forth between a wolf and a boy. But I think it is almost time. Or he's blind and just recognizes you by the wet dog smell no matter which form you're in. That's funny. And so now we actually get to continue the story, which I'm very glad that we didn't have to do that earlier, because part of the reason I was doing all the side questing is that I didn't understand where I was supposed to go next after I got the Master Sword. And now, as I was doing the side questing, I ran into a portion of Castletown where there was a red flag pinned on the map, and that's usually an indicator of the next step in the story. So I'm going to go back there, and we are going to see if that is true, and if that launches us into the next part of the story, which will probably mostly take hold next week. But anyway, the postman wants to talk to us, Mr. Lady QEW. Wait! The best greeting ever given. And part of not knowing how the story continued was my fault, because I realized the postman had hijacked me and given me a letter that told me exactly where to go, and I never read it. So when he gives me this letter, we should read it. Greetings, Mr. Lady QW. I have come to deliver a letter. It is a letter from Malo Mart. Well, my business is concluded. Onwards to mail. Malo Mart, the hero of discounts, is finally open in Castletown. We've got all you need for that upcoming trip, and we offer it all at unbelievable prices. Grand opening special, magic armor limit 1. Act fast, heroes. So that's an item that we're going to need to get to fill our collection screen, but I think it's a little bit too expensive for my blood right now. Which means we don't have to go there immediately. Instead, we will go to Telma's, I think. Ugh. Prison Darthfrog, thank you so much for redeeming non-seasonal candy. My other Starbucks is on the floor, which means I'm gonna have a Tic Tac or two. They have nothing to do with the season, so I can't. I mean, I can maybe. Whoop! Or 12. It got stuck. The one I was trying to pour out got stuck. And then I got like a million all in one hand. I really wanted to say, have a break, have a Tic Tac, which I know it isn't because that's a Kit Kat, but frankly, it's practically the same thing. Okay. I think it's this way? Yes. Coming from that direction, I often get confused as to which way is the cat's and which way is Thoma's place. So I'm glad I remembered correctly that time. Minty fresh. Once again, I've spotted the postman in the wild doing something absolutely feral. Do you think Tic Tac and Kit Kat ever had Mirror World copyright lawsuits? Oh, yeah, hi lady. I was looking at the cat, but I guess I'll look at you for a bit if you're gonna force me in a cutscene to do so. Oh my, if it isn't Lady QEW. Look at her cat. Her cat is so great. I want to pick up her cat. You made it. Have you been, honey? Mercy, but you have good timing. I was just talking about you. Lady, you have a boyfriend. You are in fact allowed to stand up straight.
Hey!
Hey everyone, introduce yourselves. It's quite the lean. And I don't know if you remember the last time we hung out with this lady. We brought her to Kakariko Village, where she absolutely was like, that medicine man, excuse me while I just take him over here. You kids don't need to follow. This is not a kid-friendly experience. And then just, like, left. I mean, I kind of love it for her, but this is spectacular. This handsome young man, lady, I am half your age, please control yourself, is the infamous Lady QEW. Yeah, this man is the infamous lady. I love putting my actual name in this game. You remember what I told you before, honey? These are those friends I mentioned, the ones who are trying to help deal with all the troubles in Hyrule. Actually, there's one more of us, but there's been a disturbing turn of events in the Western Desert, so he's gone to check it out. He's an older man named Auru. Auru? Not sure what I want to do with that diphthong, honestly. If you happen to meet him, definitely take the time to talk with him, okay, honey? Well, you've come all the way here. Why don't you relax a bit? Be sociable. Talk to those folks. They're a jolly bunch. Honestly, sweetie, I can check you. Okay. So I talked to that cat as a wolf, and so it's really interesting that I can't pick her up, but I can check with her. So I guess I need to talk to these folks. That's quite a helmet you got there, dude. And you look an awful lot like the guy from my village. Actually, you know what? Y'all look an awful lot like a Final Fantasy. That old codger, Oru, is at Lake Hylia studying the desert? I think that's just what she shouts whenever she sees him. Oru! That's what Wolflink, the good boy, shouts whenever he sees anyone. So, if you've got a guy studying the desert and his current location is a lake, I'm wondering if you should maybe check on him to make sure he understands what a desert is. Maybe? Well, at least he gave me something on my map. That's nice of you. Her eyes are terrifying. Snow Peak, the mountain to the north of Hyrule, is unlike any mountain I've ever known. Things happen there that happen on no other mountain, and evil controls it. And she'll tell me more about it. Okay, well, Snow Peak apparently might be next. Oh, hello there. You must be Lady QEW. Correct? I'm Shad. Wonderful to meet you. Telma told me all you've been up to. You're rather formidable. I'm rather not, I'm afraid. Oh, well, I'm formidable at book reading, but I lack, shall we say, physical skills. That said, if the history and legends of Hyrule are your cup of tea, I'm your fellow. If you're curious, just ask away. Okay, so he can give me lore. She can talk to me about the mountain of evil. What do you do? 10 out of 10 characterization. That's spectacular. You guys are a great party. Please stay here forever. Oh, that's fantastic. All I'm saying, chat, some of the NPCs in this game are top tier, which makes it so difficult that some of the minigames and some of the enemies are like awful. Shad sounds like the name of one who's intimidated by you because you exist. Wow. Hey, don't forget to visit your boyfriend occasionally, lady. I bet he misses you. So now we have to go to Lake Hylia to talk to Aru. Can I be a wolf? Can I work from here? No one's watching me, right? Might as well fast travel. Oh, the site of the best minigame in the universe. There's a bird who lives like right there who doesn't need to have any human friends. And I love that bird. Plum with 2 M's. Plum birdie muffin. And we absolutely rocked that minigame. That was a lot of fun. That was the most fun minigame in this entire game. Nearly all of your chocolate. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. This is fine. Well, you're gonna have to go get more chocolate then. Oh, I see. That's the desert. I mean, probably. Point is, the dude's somewhere over here, which tells me he's probably at the top of this tower observing the desert. Yeah, Hyrule is a really weird climate. A lake right next to a desert. I thought it was about time for you to arrive. Master Lady QEW, is it? Mr. Lady QEW straight to Master Lady QEW. You're right, I am a master. At everything I've tried. I'm really not. I'm very bad at this game, honestly. Based on how the maps are, it wouldn't be that surprising if part of the desert is a lake. That's true. You do know Telma, don't you? I'm Oru. I'm part of the group. Now, you being a courageous youth, you have likely heard of the strange events in the desert. No, I have not heard of any of the strange events in the desert, but I'm here to investigate. This is the third or fourth time I feel this has happened. I was collecting bugs just for the sake of bug collection. I came here because Talma told me to go talk to them. The first thing they said was that you were here. I didn't know there was anything weird going on at all. This entire area, including the giant lake, is the desert. I mean, you are mistaken? Entirely. No, I don't know. I know nothing. The Gerudo Desert once held a prison built to hold the worst criminals this land has ever known. Okay. This sounds an awful lot like the mistake Batman made with the Phantom Zone. And Lego Batman, specifically. Sorry, Lego Batman made with the Phantom Zone. The problem is when you put all of your worst criminals in the exact same place, they tend to overthrow the regime. Should have split them up. I should have sent one to the moon. A cursed mirror? No! Oh, wait. Uh-oh. Chat, I just remembered a thing about the story. Okay, let me talk y'all through what I'm thinking. So the criminals who were sentenced to death were sent directly to the underworld by a cursed mirror that was kept in the prison. So, I want to be very clear here. I don't remember the... No, wait, I do. I think I remember. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but let's chat lore for a minute, because I have been really liking the story of this game. I have to allow for that. The story of this game has been really interesting, certainly engaging, definitely surprising, because I am used to Zelda stories, and this is not a Zelda story. This is a fantasy story, and so it wants to hurt you in a way a Zelda game story doesn't usually. Anyway, so... the story so far, in terms of the overarching tale of Midna, if you will, is that Midna found us, has exploited us to assist her with defeating the King of Twilight, who has taken over Hyrule. He's currently in the castle. Princess Zelda is gone. Everything is Twilight. We're fine. It doesn't matter. We're fine. And so Midna asked us to collect those shards, which were going to allow us to access forbidden magic, which would help us defeat the King of Twilight. And when we collected the third shard, Midna grabbed those things from us and basically, like, tried to yeet herself out of the dungeon to do something. But the King of Twilight caught us both. That's how we wound up being a wolf all of the time, and why we needed to go get the Master Sword, because he shoved something in our face, turned us into a wolf. He also nearly killed Midna, but it's okay, we saved her, that's fine, by transitioning her into the light world, even though she is of Twilight. And so we've accidentally made her coexist. It's fine, we merged her with Zelda, everything's okay, except it's really not. This is not the first, but certainly an interesting choice to remove Zelda from your Legend of Zelda game, but that's fine. So, like, this is just full spoilers, but frankly, we're past that point in the game, so it's fine. I'm just fascinated by some of this lore. So, it means that we came to a point where we do not have the shards that Midna asked us to collect. Those were taken from us by the King of Twilight. And so Midna's original plan is not going to work anymore. So we can't do it that way. And then Zelda like gave up her essence to keep Midna balanced. And so now we don't even have Zelda to depend on, which means the situation has gotten worse in Hyrule. And Midna's plan is no longer available. And so what Midna said at that time, and this is what confused me, chat. This is why I didn't know where I was supposed to go. And I realize now what happened. Midna said that we needed to help her by bringing her to the Mirror of Twilight. And so just casually was like, anytime we talked to her for a little bit, she was like, we need to go find this mirror. We need to go find this mirror. We need to go find this mirror. And to me, I received that instruction and I was like, am I supposed to know what that is? Because I don't. And no, I wasn't supposed to know what that is. I was supposed to just go do some unrelated things until someone told me about Talma and about this guy looking into the desert and about this prison where there is a cursed mirror that sends the criminals who have been the worst criminals in the history of Hyrule. Criminals who were sentenced to death are sent directly to the underworld by a cursed mirror kept in that prison. Which tells me that is probably the Mirror of Twilight. Which tells me that Midna wants me to interact with one of these criminals in the underworld in order to accomplish whatever the next phase of her plan is. I mean, if I had to guess, I'm just gonna go have a little chat with Ganon about something because that would be hilarious. Like, make Ganon help me in Twilight Princess. That would be spectacular. But like, just this little bit of dialogue is opening up so much potential for where the story of this game is going. Because the Mirror of Twilight means nothing to me. I've never heard of it before. But I'm looking for the Mirror of Twilight, and there exists a mirror that sends you directly to the underworld so that you can't continue to exist on this plane because you're so bad. I'm like, maybe for the fifth or sixth time in this story so far, I'm like, Chad, are we the good guys? And I think I've decided I don't care because Midna is one of the best NPCs that I've ever been presented, and I would die for her, and I have been thinking that since the moment she was introduced. She is my favorite. I am unquestioning and unwavering in my loyalty to her. I will do anything she asks of me, and so I don't particularly care if that makes me the bad guy of this game. I will still do it. We're the good boys. Even if we're the bad guy, we're obviously the good boy. I have a whole button for it. Anyways, I'm fascinated by this, and this is a thing that Twilight Princess has been consistently doing well. I don't like the enemy design. I don't like the combat at all, but I do really enjoy the story. At least thus far. I'm a little worried where it's gonna go, because I tried very hard not to get attached. And then I did. Because I love Midna. So this game officially has the power to hurt me, depending on where it goes with the story. Anyway, none of that matters. Criminals who were sentenced to death were sent directly to the underworld by a cursed mirror. Now that prison is condemned, and even the road leading to the desert is impassable. This desert at World's End, it still holds the cursed mirror and the malice of the doomed inmates. These old bones know that the evil currently plaguing Hyrule is related to this wicked place, so I've come to learn the truth. Master Lady QEW, I must ask, what will you do now? Don't tell me you plan to enter the desert and confirm my suspicions with your own eyes. Of course I plan to do that. Oh my gosh. You see Lake Hylia. A man named Fire runs an amusement ride of sorts there. Give him this. Okay. A little memo. I saved this man's life, and now he cannot refuse me if I ask a favor. If you leave the rest up to Fire, all should go well. Is he going to shoot me out of a cannon into the desert? Is this what's about to happen, chat? Because I feel like that's what's about to happen, and that's hilarious if true. But it's probably going to be something we save for next week. I think he's the guy with the cannon. I love where this story is going. It's spectacular. I would like a lens of truth, please, because I want to know what these gossip stones do. Anyways. No, I like having 3 money and no children. Hup. Ooh. I would just like Plum to not hate me for a split second. So I'm gonna run over here. And I'm gonna have to run away. Oh, interesting. Ah, there he is. See? That's Plum. He's our bestest friend. But only when we're a wolf. Okay, we have to hide from that guy. Is he gonna say the thing? Plum has no need to speak to humans. Beautiful. Guards in Skyrim. Stay away from X. I hear that place is horribly cursed. Your character. Marks location on map. It's now an objective. Honestly, vibes? Okay. Actually genuinely kind of excited about where the story is going now, which is unfortunate. So I think that this guy is fire. I think the other guy with the chickens is something else. I mean, other than fantastic. But we're basically at the end of our stream right now. Which means we're not actually going to learn what happens until next week. Thanks so much to everyone who chose to pop in and hang out. It was delightful. Ooh, we get ourselves a stretch. I really need it in my shoulders today. I did some lifting. Some days I do more lifting. I actually did ask people for help. I did some lifting today, but the primary thing I did that was crazy is I had a cart full of stuff. I almost wish I'd checked the weights on the boxes, but I had a cart full of boxes that I had to get to our accessibility entrance for our new office, and that accessibility entrance is bad. It is virtually inaccessible. So what I have to do is I have to wheel something out the back door, down a ramp to get to the parking lot, wheel halfway around the building in the parking lot to get through the entrance door that takes me into the lobby that has a ramp, which is like a very big loop around the lobby for the ramp in order to get the right gradient. And that ramp takes me up the half story that actually lets me get to my office entrance. It is an utterly ridiculous accessibility entrance. Not accessible at all because we're on a half story and the elevator only goes to like the full stories. And so I had to do this whole big roll around. And the grade on the accessibility ramp is quite steep. And the cart definitively weighed more than twice my body weight. And so the pull in the muscles of like my legs, especially the backs of my thighs and like my arms as I was trying to force this cart to follow me up the ramp, I was leaning back, I was using gravity, we were not going anywhere. Like I had to use muscles, not just like the force of just like being heavier than this cart, and this cart is on wheels. It was like, nope, none of that. This is so crazy. And I made it all the way around and I made it all the way up, but then I was basically like, nah, no more of that. And so a good stretch is always nice. And so thank you very much for that redemption point in Darth Frog, because my shoulders do need it today. They've had a little bit of a push. I had a great time with this stream. There were no spiders whatsoever, which is pretty much all it takes at this point. My bar is on the floor for this game. All you need to do is not actively make me want to fling myself away from the screen, and You're golden. But I also really loved the lore ramifications. I'm quite excited about some of that. So if you are also interested in seeing how the story develops, if you are interested in learning who Fire is, he's definitely the guy with the cannon, and possibly seeing me get shot out of a cannon for the purpose of trying to find a route to the worst prison ever to find a cursed mirror. Feel free to come back next week because we're going on an adventure, chat. Apparently. So I do stream Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm a Southern Ontario girly, and so same time, same place, just next week. If you want to come back and hang out, I love the Mirror Wilds. Poison Earthfrog, you're always so good with that. The like flippin' emote and doing what you do with them never fails to make me laugh. But there you have it. I am taking a look at my options, and I don't have a lot of people that I know that are live tonight, so I am just going to end. Have fun with the horrible place. I will do my best. I'll probably still be there because I imagine it's an entire dungeon and probably a whole thing. But I hope you have a lovely time with your eldest sibling. And so whether or not I see you, have a nice week. And to everyone who chose to join, because it was wonderful to have you, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out while we, made capitalism worse? I'm not sure. We did a quest for an eldritch being who's trapped in the form of a toddler. I'm insistent that that's what happened. So, same time, same place next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. If you feel like showing up, we'll do some continuing. But whether or not you do, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always, until I see you next time, keep it cute, folks. Bye for now.